go on baseball tonight. Scott Reese, Orestes Destrade, and Steve Phillips with you. We dive right in with what else? The race atop the American League East. The Yankees could clinch the division with a victory over the Sox. It's Wakefield and Johnson, first inning. Gary Sheffield providing some offense. Fourth home run in 7 games, 34th of the year. And the Yanks have an early lead, but what's going on here with the fastball to Sheffield?
He gets a fastball, and that's a batting practice fastball. And if you've seen Gary Sheffield take batting practice,
especially at Fenway,
he can hit it a mile.
Yeah, he wasn't fooled by that. Bottom one, 2-1 pitch to Johnny Damon, ball 3. And ball 4, and, well, Johnson not pleased with home plate umpire Gary Darling. Meanwhile, fans in the outfield, they gave him green shirts. See, it would help the Sox players pick up the Randy Johnson pitches, and, well, apparently it worked. And he had no trouble picking that one up. My goodness.
I tell you what, he's getting those inside pitches and pulling his arms through. Ooh, people think that they can get him inside, and they can't.
Over the foul pole, lands on the roof across the street. Thank you very much. Top 2, Bernie off the glove of Kevin Millar.
Got to make that play. Come on, Kevin.
Well, that becomes a gift double. We take another look. And with Tino off the base, this is a double play.
Sure is. He's a sitting duck right there. Tried to move to the base before he caught it.
Olerud makes that play, but you got Randy Johnson on the mound.
Yanks would score a couple on sac flies, go up 5-2. Another close call there, and again, Johnson unhappy. John Flaherty to the mound. Damon walks to load the bases, and, well, the unit clearly rattled, so Mel Stottlemyre comes out and says, you know what, big guy, settle down, it's all good.
That looked like a huddle in a football game.
It breathed.
Well, it worked, because with Ortiz on deck and the bases loaded, Johnson gets Edgar Renteria, still a 5-2 game. In the third, Hideki Matsui and Godzilla launching.
The big Fantastic Four of the Yankees, Jeff, Yambi, Matsui, all providing RBIs.
Makes it 6-2, but then here comes Big Papi off the wall. And of course, Sox only wondering what would have happened had he come to the plate with the bases loaded the inning before. As it stands, unit out of the inning unscathed. 5th inning now, 6-2, A-Rod. Well, at least he didn't throw him a fastball.
All game long, watch this game, I had a feeling A-Rod's going to lean into one of these knuckleballs, and he sure did.
Got to be the glasses.
Number 48 on the year. That leads the AL. A-Rod 4 for 5 on the day. Meanwhile, the unit cruising right along. Ooh, nasty to Millar, Bill Miller, staring, Doug Mirabelli. Randy retired 16 of the last 18 batters he faced. 8 strikeouts and 7 1/3. In the 8th, Stephen King, not impressed. Of course, he wrote The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and, well, there's Tom Gordon, former Red Sox, now a Yankee, and, well, I guess Stephen didn't like this either, huh?
Manny loved Tom Gordon.
Whew. Yeah. 3 RBI for Ramirez, give him 141. Second home run of the day, 44th of the year. It's 8-4. 9th inning now. Bring on Mariano. Would there be 9th inning magic against Mo? Jason Varitek, little looper. Gano can't get it, so leadoff man's aboard.
I think the shade got him there. It really played a big part in the game today.
Next batter, Trot Nixon. Oh, he hit it right on the button. Right at Chef. Nixon 0 for 4. Tony Graffinino pops him up. A-Rod in on the shadows. Whoa. It's all good. Juggles, but makes the play. 2 out. Oh, okay, now over in Cleveland, Brady Sizemore at the bat, down 4-3. And this is the final out of the game. Why do we show you this now? Because with that put out, the Yankees can clinch the AL East with 1 more out. Johnny Damon, chopper, and Rivera handles it himself. Ball game. Yankees win at 8-4. They clinch the division for the 8th straight time.
That's all. I'll tell you, if you really put it in perspective, Scott, 8 times. That's all. I mean, obviously Atlanta's got 14, but
That's still a lot in a row.
Well done.
But this one's been different because they had to grind it out this time.
Derek Jeter reaches the 200-hit milestone for the 4th time, second only to Lou Gehrig among Yankees, who did it 8 times, and the captain was lost in emotion.
This is probably the most difficult year. But I don't want to sit here and say, well, this year is better than last year or better than the year before, because all of them are special, but it shows how hard it is.
These guys wouldn't be denied. I mean, they're so special in the way they're binding with each other and just committed to this whole thing that we're all trying to accomplish.
With their 8th straight title in the East, the Yanks passed the A's for most division titles in the American League since divisional play began in '69. Of course, still trailing the Braves, who have won 15 division titles in the National League. And Steve, Randy Johnson, the first Yankee pitcher to beat the Red Sox 5 times in a season since Stan Bonson in 1968. What'd you see today out of the
I
unit?
think you played against Stan Bonson.
Stan Bonson, yeah, many times, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Randy Johnson, really the big difference for him as the season has progresses, he's gotten his mechanics together. A lot of times when pitchers don't control their emotions, they can let their mechanics get away. They get rushing out in front. We see in the game today, Randy Johnson not liking the call here to Johnny Damon. He walks him, he's muttering, he's angry, he's upset. He let his emotions get to him. He got to a 2-0 count on Renteria, but he got back under control. And Randy Johnson's balance and his delivery is much better now than it was early in the year. He battles back on Renteria and throws a 94-mile-an-hour fastball and then a 93-mile-an-hour fastball to back it up to strike him out. The key has been the balance in his delivery. He's getting out over the front leg, and you see the arm slot. He's on top of the ball now and getting the depth and movement to his pitches. It didn't matter today which Red Sox hitters were in there, whether they were right-handed or left-handed. He was getting the depth on that slider because he's on top of the ball, breaking it down and away from the lefties, down and into the righties. Nasty all day long. Randy Johnson is back. He is back. The dominating guy is there just when the Yankees needed him the most. 5-0 against the Red Sox, and the ace of the staff as they head to the postseason. They're going to be tough in the postseason now.
Yeah, no, adding on with the Randy Johnson having faced him, the difficult thing is picking up that box over there trying to pick up the ball. And right now you can see he's stretching out, and as Steve said, a great difference, and you just couldn't pick up the ball on him. And when that slider's on, forget it.
Well, Johnson gave them everything they needed from a pitching standpoint. And offensively, I guess really not much question that the Yankees' big hitters came to play this weekend.
No, definitely. The Yankees' big hitters came to play, especially Gary Sheffield, who I think was the main guy in this whole thing. And you got 4 guys that are superstars in this lineup. You got Manny, you got Big Papi. Big Papi is the most clutch hitter. You got Manny, who's probably the best hitter of the 4. You've got A-Rod. There's Manny Ramirez, who's, like I just said, he's got the best hitter, the best power. You got A-Rod, who's probably the best all-around player. Defense, stolen bases, hit for power, average, does a little bit of everything so well. But the different guy, and I think the guy that's coming across right now for the Yankees in a lot of ways, offensively and defensively, is Gary Sheffield. He's the most feared hitter, I believe, in the American League, and the most intense player. And one of the things that he learned to do is become a leader. When I played with him with the Marlins, he was a young, kind of a little bit cocky, a little selfish kind of guy, but unbelievable talent, great talent. And then he went to Atlanta, actually, and I believe when he went to Atlanta, he picked up the Atlanta way of style, the Atlanta type of ball. He became an unselfish player, a leader, and still has that intensity, and that's showing right now in his play.
See, I agree with you. I think if I had one of those 4, game on the line to drive in a run, it would be Gary Sheffield for me. He just has a knack to drive in the big run when you need it. And Big Papi's been clutch. Gary Sheffield would be the guy I'd want in the batter's box with the game on the line.
Truth be told, any of those 4, you're probably in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I'd take him.
You're all right.
So we heard from the captain, Derek Jeter, and we heard from Joe Torre earlier after the ball game. But what about the boss, George Steinbrenner's statement on another division title? Quote, "I am proud of them, delighted for our fans who stuck with us through this tough, exciting season. But this is only the first step toward our goal, a championship."
A little different than the memo he sent out when they were playing in Baltimore earlier this year, huh?
What memo? I don't remember any memo. Due up on baseball tonight, Kurt Schilling will get the baseball as the Red Sox try to clinch the wild card on Sunday. Yeah, there's some pressure there, and maybe Cleveland feeling the pressure as well. We'll check in on their frustrating weekend against the Chi Sox. And, of course, all the defensive dandies fit to be called web gems. We count down the top 5 in mere moments. MLB.TV is still...
October is upon us. The Major League Baseball Division Series is on ESPN.
That ball is gone! A home run!
Every pitch packed with pressure. Every action loaded with consequence. Every moment wrapped in tension.
The slide! Swing! Oh, my goodness!
Division Series begins Tuesday at 1 p.m. on ESPN. Telecast presented by Budweiser.
White Sox and Indians, Jake Westbrook on the hill, and Cleveland need this one badly. Little defensive help for the Tribe. Ben Broussard, one first baseman, Robin another.
That's a lot of defensive help, not a little defensive
yes,
help. That's
it
a good
is.
play right there. Good athletes on this Indians team.
Robin Canerco, Westbrook covers. Top 5, Timo Perez. Hot shot, Ronnie Belliard going up and doubles off A.J. Pierzynski. Jake is fired up. In the 7th, little bit of trouble. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Pablo Osuna, and really that's just bad luck.
Nothing you can do with that. Eat it, get the next guy.
Well, he did get the next guy, but 2 batters later, Tadahito Iguchi, who came in 1 for 15 against Westbrook, wouldn't you know it?
Sinker ball that didn't sink, and Iguchi drove it out.
Only his 2nd home run since August 26th. Biggie Sox up 4-1. In the 7th, here come the Tribe, Aaron Boone. Victor Martinez in. It's a 4-2 ball game. Next batter, Casey Blake. Number 1 on his back, number 1 in your hearts. Booney trying to score all the way from first. We've got a play at the plate. And he is in there. Well, we don't have a play at the plate. I misspoke. Indians back within 4. Damaso Marte now on in relief of Luis Vizcaíno, and he gets the lefty Grady Sizemore.
Got himself out of a jam right there. The pitching has been phenomenal for the White Sox this series.
In the 8th, more Cleveland noise. Travis Hafner off the wall. Johnny Peralta to 3rd on the double.
I'll tell you, Brian Anderson, left field, made a great play there, saving a run.
They walk Victor Martinez to load the bases, and first pitch that Belliard sees pops out. Next batter, of course, it's Ben Broussard. Had a chance to be a hero in the Friday night game with the bases loaded, 1 out, and he looked at strike 3, and here with 2 outs and the sacks packed, fly to center. Bottom 9, last chance for the Tribe, and Bobby Jenks gets Sizemore to end it. 6th save for Jenks, and the White Sox win 4-3. They have won 8 out of 9 at Jacobs Field this season, 4 straight overall. And the Indians dropped to 5-13 against Chicago in 2005. So the situation, guys, is this. Last day of the regular season, Red Sox win, they're in as the wild card. And the Indians loss, the Red Sox in as the wild card. So the Indians need a win and a Boston loss to force a 1-game playoff, which would be held at Fenway Park on Monday. Now, Steve, this is the 5th time in 6 games that the Indians have lost by 1 run. What's going on with this young team?
Well, I think that, when we break down all these different teams, you look at the Red Sox, they've got starting pitching and bullpen problems. Yankees have pitching problems. You look at the Indians, they don't have many real weaknesses for their team, but they're young and inexperienced. And sometimes when you're young and inexperienced, you try to do too much too soon. Sometimes you chase pitches out of the zone. Sometimes you're a little too aggressive in the count. Bases loaded Friday night, 11th inning. Neil Cott's on the mound against Ben Broussard, and Broussard swinging at 2 breaking balls early in the count instead of waiting for a pitch he can hit. Kotz goes back with the fastball. Broussard kind of breaks down his stance, strikes out looking. Then in today's game, 8th inning, bases loaded again, Ronnie Belliard at the plate. Again, another young hitter trying to deliver. They haven't gotten the big hits. He gets the first pitch, a pitcher's pitch. Up in the zone, he tries to do too much, thinking big fly instead of just a base hit. That is indicative of a young team and young players who in critical situations feel like they have to do it instead of waiting for the game to come to the end, trying to do too much. That's been the problem. They're missing that veteran leader that they can fall back on. Next year, I think these guys are going to learn from this. 2006 is probably the year of the Indians.
I mean, the only really veteran leader they got in that lineup is Aaron Boone, who's had that experience. The pressure on a young team like that is immense.
And lost in the Indians' last week of the season swoon. The White Sox playing great baseball. Finally, they have turned it back around, Orestes. Your thoughts on this pitching staff as we head toward the playoffs?
Well, I mean, that has been it. I mean, this is what's carried the White Sox all year long. I mean, Ozzie used some B players in the offense, but definitely the pitching is what got him there. Here we see, speaking of the B players, this kid glowed, got the big hit yesterday. Look at this defensive play that he makes today. And then offensively, from the Daiei Hawks out of Japan, Tadahito Iguchi playing for Sadahara O. And I learned a lot over there. Keeps his hands through the ball. Ozzie considers this guy as MVP. Speaking of MVP, John Garland was awesome. He needed to get his mojo back. Burley has gotten his back. Now Garland's had his. Now, this is so important for these two guys. These are the 1 and 2. 1 and 2, so I'm not supposed to be Freddie and Contreras, but they've been holding down the fort. These guys seem to be back. They seem to be going into the postseason very, very positive. They got a pretty decent pen with this kid Bobby Jenks doing the job. Dustin Hermanson at times. I think Ozzie. Think about 2 weeks ago. They were in disarray.
Reeling.
Now they're going into the postseason pretty confident.
Wheels were coming off. Everybody thinking, oh, Cleveland's going to win this thing.
The other thing they have going, too, Podsednik looks like he's getting healthy. He's getting on base. He's 3 for 3 in his last 3 stolen bases. If he gets it going, they get momentum offensively, they could get back on track.
Oh, that was the key early on. It was those two guys, Podsednik and Gucci, at the beginning of the lineup setting the table.
No, now you got to really hand it to Kenny Williams for, what they did with the Carlos Lee trade and bringing in Tarajito. That's why I think Ozzie says that he's his MVP, because that was the 1 and 2 at the top of the order.
Well, one more game to go for the White Sox in Cleveland. Here's the pitching matchup. It's the kid, Brendan McCarthy, who has been fairly impressive since his recall. 1.67 ERA in 6 games. That's not bad. Scott Ellerton has also been solid for Cleveland, and if they ever needed one great start out of Scott Ellerton, this would be it on Sunday. Due up on baseball tonight. What about that National League wild card chase? The Rocket could help pitch the Astros to within a game of the promised land. We'll show you his return. And, of course, the fighting Phil's still very much alive, as is that impressive hit streak. We will show it to you when Baseball Tonight rolls on. Down via the strikeout in this ballgame.
That means they only put the ball in play 10 times.
I guarantee you Frank Robinson's giving them that death stare right now.
He doesn't want to finish in last place.
And so here are the Phillies, still in this pennant chase, and it's the kids, Steve, who are leading the way.
Well, you're right. We hear about Abreu and Burrow, but I'll tell you what, Chase Utley and Ryan Howard, the right side of the infield for this Philadelphia Phillies team, this is the future of this organization. These two young guys can swing the bat. Ryan Howard, 25 years old. What I like, power to all fields. He drives his double to left center field here, and he says, well, that was nice, but I can hit a little further when I pull it. So he says, what, later in the game, 6th inning, let me just yak one out way deep right here. I'll tell you what, he's on pace. If you spread these numbers out, spread them out over the season, 41 homers, 115 RBI over 162 games if you take his numbers out. For Chase Utley, well, you know what, 28 homers, 105 ribbies for him. Most RBIs by a Philly second baseman ever. This guy's going to be around for a long time. He's got to shore up the defense, and both of these young hitters need to tighten up their at-bats against left-handed pitching. But 50 home runs between them for the right side of the infield, and Howard hasn't even played a full season. I'll tell you, you talk about the future of the Philadelphia Phillies organization, very bright because of the right side of this infield. And they've been a big reason why this team is making a charge for the wild card, because it's not always been about the pitching there. It's about the offense, and these two guys are a big part of it. I was
with Ryan Howard, not thinking beyond the playoffs if they make it, but next year, maybe Jim Thome can get his third base glove out, maybe possibly called, back in somewhere in the garage over in Cleveland.
That's going to be a lot of discussion.
A lot of pressure on Jimmy Rollins at shortstop with Thome at third base. Right?
All right, so the Phillies win. The Astros trying to keep pace against the Cubs. Jerome Williams, he won his last start against Houston on September 25th. Craig Biggio, unimpressed.
Craig Biggio breaking the power stick out these days.
44 leadoff home runs in his career, 26th of the year. Roger Clemens, meanwhile, trying to pitch his team closer to the postseason. Now here, C.B. Buckner calls that a ball, and the Rocket, he's kind of mumbling to himself. And later in the at-bat, he's no longer mumbling.
Randy Johnson did that a little bit today.
Yeah, two legends.
Phil Garner comes out, says, you know what? A, give me better calls. B, don't throw out my pitcher. Jeremy Brunitz, no chance.
Well, as far as pitchers go, you can't get more intense than Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens in a pressure game.
Not going to find much better either. In the third, Jose Macias, career strikeout, 4,500 for Clemens. In the fourth, after a sac fly tied it at 1, Corey Patterson, take your base. Intentional walk, they're loaded, and it's the pitcher, Jerome Williams.
He looked good taking that pitch.
I tell you what, that was on the black.
So we're still tied. Williams there gets Biggio on a borderline pitch.
Did a good job.
In the 6th, Matt Merton right back at you. Clemens, the wherewithal to pick it up, get his man. Call that a Web Gem nominee. Another look. Oh, there it is.
Self-defense.
And the cat-like quickness. Sixth inning we go. Jason Lane with Willie Taveras on third. That could be trouble. And it is. Taveras in. Astros up 2-1. Seventh inning. The Rocket still going strong. Nafi Perez right back at you. Clemens makes the play. Went 7. Gave up just the 1 run. Struck out 5. Bottom 7. Pinch hitter Jeff Bagwell with 2 aboard. Ground ball to third. Nomar coming home. No. Decides to go across the diamond. Run scores to make it 3-1. Give it to the bullpen. Dan Wheeler on in relief. It's Matt Merton with 2 aboard. Out of a jam. Still 3-1. Ninth inning we go. Brad Lidge. Rough day on Friday. Not so much on Saturday.
You knew he wouldn't have back-to-back days. This guy's had a monster season.
3-1 is your final. And so the Astros do keep that 1-game cushion over the Phils heading into Sunday. Clemens lowers his major league best ERA to 1.87 and 341st career win for the Rocket. But this Houston team clearly needed a big game from its big game pitcher, and surprise, surprise, they got it.
Well, you know, it's been Andy Pettitte lately, but you know, we know Roger Clemens. He's what legends are made of, and that's what he showed today. He's had the hamstring problem, but you know what? The rest made it was good, and the key to today was establish his fast and furious dominance early. In the first inning, gets out of a jam quickly with a double play, and you can see it in his eyes. He's got the intensity. I feel good. Second inning, look at him work Burnitz with his fastball away, his leg strength again, so important in his pitching game. I mean, he pitches so much with his leg. There you go with his fastball splitter. He started working him. The third inning, he starts 1, 2, 3, strikeout, strikeout, ground out. He was just cruising by now, and that was so important to not let them score early in the game. And then you get into the fourth inning, and he punches out Derek Lee with a nasty pitch, the most dangerous hitter in his lineup. He does give up a cheap run in this inning, but the guy had, like I said, his leg strength. He had his pitches back, control. He's a key player in this whole thing, and I knew that he was going to show up today.
Steve, as a general manager, you need one pitcher to pitch 1 game to get you into the playoffs. Anybody in baseball, who would you take?
Boy, that's a good one. I mean, Clemens certainly is near the top of that list. Right now, Andy Pettitte's a pretty good postseason guy, too. I might take the left-hander.
Oh?
Well, I still go with Clemens. I mean, I think he's just so intense right now, and if he's healthy, you know, this guy is nasty.
Well, we saw a couple of those candidates today with Clemens and Randy Johnson. Here is the situation in the hunt for October in the National League wild card race. A Houston win or a Philly loss, and the Astros are the wild card. A Phils win and a Houston loss, and we have got a 1-game tiebreaker. That would be played Monday in Philly on ESPN at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. This is fun, isn't it? Wow. Due up on baseball tonight. Yeah, the St. Louis Cardinals are cruising toward the postseason, but Albert Pujols ain't mailing it in. We'll show you what happened on this Saturday, and likewise for the Angels as they continue their playoff tune-ups. We will revisit their story when Baseball Tonight comes back. So pull up a chair and spend some time with us. The Dodgers, Padres, and of course San Diego trying to avoid winning a division with a sub-500 record. Jason Repko off of Chanahoe Park, the former Dodger, 8th of the year, and LA's up 1-0. Bottom 5, it's Joe Randa with 2 on and 2 out, helping the cause. Or Joe Randa on second, I should say. Chanahoe knocks him home, and we are tied at 1. In the 7th, Willie Ibar, who quietly has been spectacular in September.
Yes.
Reached base safely in 19 of 21 games. That's good. Dodgers up 2-1, and that is now a final. Reds, Cardinals, and former Card Red Shandies taking down the number 2, which means after today, 1 game left at Busch, and, well, there's 1 baseball left on the grass.
He's trying to get a few more homers in before they tear it down.
Albert, a 2-run shot, his 41st. Larry Walker, second of the day. And they need his bat in the postseason.
Key guy in the postseason, taking cortisone shots 4 days in a row. I got to hand it to him. He's a gamer.
In the 7th, Simpson, Alan Simpson hits Pujols to load the bases.
You looking at me, man? Listen, man, I'm going to knock you out right now.
Tell you what, don't fight now. No suspension.
No.
Yeah, right. Head to the playoffs.
Everybody
down to first base.
Yeah, La Russa ran out.
Settle down, kids. Go back to the dugout. Jerry Narron says, all right, Simpson, you're done. In comes Brian Shackelford, and wouldn't you know it,
oh, my.
he hits Hector Luna with a pitch. Cardinals win number 99 on the season, 9-6 is your final. And Steve, Tony La Russa also set his postseason rotation. Your thoughts on how it stacks up?
Well, right now, the way it looks, it's going to be Chris Carpenter in Game 1, followed by Mark Mulder, Matt Morris, and Jason Marquis. 99 wins we're talking about for the St. Louis Cardinals, 81 wins from the starting rotation. Certainly baseball's best and deepest starting rotation. They've pitched well all year long. The numbers speak for themselves, but they have not pitched well of late down the stretch. You look at Chris Carpenter, his last 4 starts, he's 0-1 with an ERA over 9. Mark Mulder's last start walked 7 batters. I mean, Jason Marquis has been pretty good. Morris, after the All-Star break, 4-8 ERA, almost to 5. They need to get these guys on track. You can't just turn it on. It's going to be very interesting to see if this starting pitching staff that has carried this team all season long is going to be as sharp as they need to be for the postseason.
And once again, playing Sunday for a 100-win regular season in St. Louis. American League, Angels, Rangers, Bud Black, Mike Socha. Everybody's relaxed now. Why do you think that is?
Hey,
Champagne does that.
Top 4.
bubbly.
Orlando Cabrera off of Doug Brocail.
OC in the OC.
Aha. 8th of the year. It's 5-1.
Oh, actually, they're in Texas.
Bottom 6. It's close.
But he played.
We get the idea.
I like that.
Soriano, 3-run shot, his 36th, 6-4 game. In the 9th, now 7-6. Give it to K-Rod. A run already in. Teixeira at 3rd. Soriano at the plate, and nothing doing. Angels hang on.
That's good break.
7-6 is your final. So, the race for home field advantage still not settled in the American League. If the Red Sox end up the wild card, the Yanks would play the Angels in the first round. The Angels won the season series 6-4, so again, home field.
That's so important.
And what about the playoff preps now for this Los Angeles Angels team that really a lot of people are sort of forgetting is a pretty good baseball club?
Hey, they're a great club. I mean, they've got a little bit of everything, and you saw them there in the highlight. They're loose. They clinched on Tuesday in a tough race against a formidable Oakland team. Their big keys right now is to make sure that Garrett Anderson stays healthy. He's back out in the outfield. He's been DHing. He's such an important player, especially hitting behind Vlad, who also has been nursing a shoulder injury. But this team is very deep, very strong, very professional. I love the way Mike Socha always drives his players. He's almost like a sergeant, and they know and they follow him. And I think they've won before, so this team has a lot of upside to them. And
the Angels going in with some momentum. Of course, the Chicago White Sox have home field advantage throughout the postseason. Now the play you absolutely had to see on a Saturday. Look at this. 1 out now. O's and D-Rays. It's 3-2. Mark Hendrickson to Eric Burns, who hits it to left. Damon Hollins, nice catch over the wall. And then say, hey, here you go, souvenir. But once again, remember, 1 out. 1 out. And Mr. Heckler says, dude, what you doing? What are you doing there? So David Newen, come on home. And the O's wind up winning by 1 run.
We've seen that a few times this year.
We've seen that more than a few times this year. Due up on baseball tonight. The wild card very much on the line, and Curt Schilling will get the baseball on Sunday. We will look ahead to the Yanks-Red Sox finale, and of course, all the great defensive plays on a Saturday. Your top 5 web gems coming up on Baseball Tonight.
The 1-2 to Damon, little chopper back toward the mound. Rivera waits for it to come down, fires to first, and the New York Yankees have won the American League East for the 8th consecutive season.
Well, it wasn't the most impressive Yankee division title, but they certainly had to battle for it. They were 8 games under 500 on May the 6th, have the major's best record since that time. New York took the lead for good on September 21st, in the process using a franchise record 51 players. Meanwhile, the Red Sox, no division crown, but still plenty to play for.
When the Yankees are out there celebrating, and we have a day. I mean, we have our whole season in front of us. It's the most unique, situation you ever see. And what are the odds of us watching the Yankees celebrate, and we're coming to the clubhouse as excited as you can be about playing a game tomorrow?
We're playing at home. We're playing a team that just won the East, so we've got one of our aces going on the mound tomorrow, Schilling, and hopefully we can get it done tomorrow and then go on to Chicago.
So, Steve, we've got an interesting situation now at Fenway Park on Sunday. The Yanks have wrapped up the division title. They're staring down their arch rivals who, oh, by the way, need a victory to get into the playoffs. So from a Yankee standpoint, how do you play this game?
Well, I think, from the Yankees' perspective and Joe Torre's, you have to go for it. I think you have to try to win this game. One, because remember, home field advantage is part of the equation for the Yankees right now. They need to win tomorrow. Then it doesn't matter what the Angels do. They have home field as the second team in the American League rankings. So I think it's important from that perspective. But for the Yankees, you have to eliminate the Boston Red Sox. They're your nemesis. I know the Indians have two lefties, and you may be a little more vulnerable to left-handed starters. But the Red Sox, it's the Red Sox. You've got to keep them out of the playoffs. I think that's what they have to try to do.
Well, I think that, but also I think Joe Torre needs to rest some people. I mean, this has been a grueling fight. You just said it, and we all agree. This has been a long season for him. I think he's going to rest some of the guys, except for A-Rod. A-Rod has not missed a game this year, and I don't think he's going to ask out. He's got 48 home runs, and he wants to stay on with Big Papi. But the Yankees need to, to take a little breather. Sure, they want to win the game.
One more day's rest. What's one more day's rest? If it's a matter of the Red Sox or the Indians being in the playoffs, and they have a chance to impact that, one more day's rest isn't worth not eliminating the Boston Red Sox in my mind. You got to put them away.
What's the bigger factor? Is it the chance of getting home field, or is it, as you mentioned, the fact that it's the Red Sox and it's your nemesis and your arch rival?
Yes. The answer is yeah. It's both of those things.
Yeah, it's a long trip to L.A. I mean, they lose home field bad. You're not talking that they're going, they could be going pretty far away here.
Of course, you could argue that they're already throwing the Indians a bone by starting Jared Wright, a guy who hasn't had much success yesterday. He would not be pitching this game if the Yankees still needed it to win the division.
Well, I think partly, though, with Mike Mussina, there is some question. I mean, he had some health issues. The elbow's been bothering him. He wasn't very good his last start. So I don't think they could predictably say Mike Mussina is Mike Mussina. I think it's the right thing to do to buy him some time. And now with Jared Wright, you're getting him back out there. He's probably not part of your postseason mix. You can take him deep in the game and protect the bullpen a little bit as well if he pitches well. I think it's the right move for Wright. But I think you need the regulars in the lineup. You have to bury the Red Sox when you get the chance.
Rest them.
Rest them. All right, well, there you have it. It's an interesting scenario, and of course, because it's the Yankees and the Red Sox, that much more fuel to the fire. Due up on baseball tonight. What about that Barry guy? Is his season done? We'll let you know what's going on by the Bay, and of course, we touch them all the day's significant dingers. You'll want to see the long balls coming up on Baseball Tonight. D-backs, Giants, top 11 of a 1-1 game. And Troy Gloss sends one toward the gap, but look at Randy Wynn making a play.
He's had a great month of September, both with the bat and in the field.
Two batters later, looks like some fog by the Bay there.
Yeah, it looks like black and white.
Royce Clayton.
1946.
All the way to the wall. Sean Green scores. D-backs win 2-1. Clayton 4 for 5 with a couple of steals. And Felipe Alou saying today, Steve, that Barry Bonds will not play on Sunday, so his season is done, an abbreviated season at that. What kind of expectations do we have for Bonds in 2006?
Well, I think he's going to be healthy. I think he has the appropriate time now to get the knee right, get it healthy, get the swelling out, rehab the way he needs to, not rush it back, and be very productive. I think he's got a chance to have a monster year next year. 40 home runs certainly is within reach. He's going to get walked a lot, but with Moises Alou behind him now in this lineup, and he's coming back, I think you at least have a threat there that could deliver some runs and make teams at least think about what they're going to do walking Bonds. But I think a healthy Barry Bonds, the Giants are right back in that NL West race.
And to add to that, speaking of Moises Alou, that was one thing. I just talked to Moises not too long ago, and he says, I'm coming back because I want to play a full season with Barry Bonds. Barry's going to train. He's going to rehab his knee. He's going to be fine. He's going to be playing left field for the Giants next year, hit about 48-plus home runs, break the great Hank Aaron's record. And he'll be fine. He's the only guy that changes a game when he goes 0 for 5.
Breaks the record next year.
He breaks a record next year.
All right. Well, we got that on tape now.
We got that on tape.
We'll bring that right about a year from now.
Breaks the record
you'll look like a genius.
And he also pushes BarryBonds.com, too.
That other Bay Area team taking on the Mariners. Ichiro How do you even hit that thing? That's in his inside shoulder.
You can't teach that.
You don't want to teach that. No. Hit number 203 on the year. Bottom three. Ichiro. It's not a replay.
That's how they do it in Japan. They actually sing his name when he was playing over there. Seriously.
He would come around to score. Top four, it's 2-1 Mariners, Eric Chavez. And you know what? The kid can play some defense, too.
And have you seen him throw?
I haven't seen him throw. It's not bad.
Please.
Bottom five, still a 2-1 game. And that'll get through. Ichiro, 3 for 4, has 205 hits this season. More on that in a moment. Top seven, Jason Kendall, the RBI double. Ellis in, A's win 4-3. And Ichiro keeps adding to that hit total. Already over 200 for the 5th season, becoming the 6th player in history to do that. No one has matched what he's done in first 5 seasons, over 1,100 hits. Next closest player, Paul Wainer, who played about 75 years ago. That was even before Orestes Destrade played
Way
baseball.
before, yeah. I remember his other brother, though.
But you know what? A few days ago, we were in danger of not getting to 200 hits and not hitting 300. But when the chips are down, Ichiro is up.
This guy is for actual just getting hits. I'm telling you right now, and I make another prediction. I think when a few years from now, when he retires, he's going to be the only player, the first player to go into the Hall of Fame in the U.S. and the Hall of Fame in the Japanese Major League Baseball. He's that good. 5 years straight with 200-plus hits. Nobody's done that. Nobody even done 4. He's only 6 people have done 5 years straight just in the history of the Major League Baseball. The keys to him are 3 things, and 2 of them he's the best at. One of them is his hand-eye coordination, which I still, as many years that I played against him in Japan, I can't understand how he has that great hand-eye. The other thing is his balance. If you really pay attention, the way he does that sway swing into the ball, which you cannot teach, and I don't recommend to teach, is because of his hand-eye coordination and the way he can maintain his balance into the swing, into the ball. The third thing is his speed, which adds a few extra base hits and infield hits. The kid is phenomenal. First time I saw him when I played against him, I said, this guy is a Shogun-era ninja warrior dressed as a baseball player. He's unbelievable.
He's something. 7 hits the last 2 days and, partially making up for a disappointing season for the Seattle Mariners. Moving on to all the day's significant dingers, we call it Touch 'em All, and we begin with the guy who leads off games with home runs on a regular basis, Craig Biggio. Extending his own National League record, 44th time he's done that.
Another pressure player for the Houston Astros.
Yuniesky Betancourt, first career home run. Love the first one.
So this kid can pick it at shortstop. He can swing the bat a little bit, too.
From the island of Cuba.
Gary Sheffield. Quick bet. 5th home run in 10 games. And that really jump-started the Yankees. They never looked back against Tim Wakefield and the Sox. More Yankee power, Hideki Matsui. When the knuckleball doesn't knuckle, it goes about 400 feet.
From another island. Japan.
Far, far away.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez.
So money.
Ooh, 48 home runs. Last Yankee to lead the league in home runs, Reggie Jackson, back in 1980. Manny Ramirez.
Manny pulled a Reggie right there after that home run. He kind of stood there and watched it.
You hit it that far?
On this one, right here. Check him out. He just stands there on flash and goes, dude, I got to watch this.
It's 8-4. Run the bases,
Manny
man.
being Manny.
Tadahito Iguchi.
He runs the bases.
Oh, yeah. The Japanese, they don't do that.
3rd home run against the Indians, and that was a backbreaker. Chase Utley, you love watching this guy.
Steve, you see how quick and compact the swing is? It was really an impressive swing.
Unbelievable. I bet he hits another one.
You're right on.
Clairvoyant.
Yes,
right
I am.
5th career multi-home run game. And Chase Utley, a future all-star. Ryan Howard, likewise.
He Reggie'd him right there, too.
He got that inside pitch. When you're that big,
you can stand in the home plate and watch that one. I like it.
Reggie used to hit him up there when the Senators played in that field. Our homer tracker is Mr. Howard, 11 this month, most by a rookie in September in baseball history. And that's pretty impressive considering how many rookies play in the final month of the season with all the call-ups.
Rookie's old friend Pete Incaviglia.
Yes. Due up on baseball tonight, we pay homage to those who sacrificed their bodies for the good of the ball club and our television program. Top 5 web gems are coming up. Plus, the guys will make their predictions regarding the wild cards in both the American League and the National League. Don't want to miss it. We're coming right back. guys ready to get down and dirty? Top 5 web gems on a Saturday, and Ross Glode, not an everyday player, but making the most of opportunities at the end of the season. And
the least popular player for the Tribe on the White Sox right now is Ross Glode.
Big hit Friday night.
They hate him. They hate him.
Trot Nixon making an appearance on the defensive. Bernie Williams bidding for a base knock, and look at number 7.
He's a dirt player, man. He's got grass stains and dirt all over him.
Oh, you got to look at his
day.
hat.
Good-looking rookie for the Nationals, Ryan Zimmerman. He can hit, and I tell you what, if he can feel like that.
Oh, he's a shortstop turned third baseman, I believe. Steve?
Third baseman, they tried to turn to a shortstop.
The third baseman tried to turn to shortstop, that it was.
Ben Broussard playing the other hot corner, right? Look at that.
Nice play.
A fundamentally sound feed to his pitcher covering.
I bet Belliard makes a play now, too.
Once again.
He's like Karnak, the magician.
Who gave it away?
Magnificent.
No, I just know this stuff.
You been reading my shot sheets? Ronnie Belliard, #1 web gem of the day, and he turns 2. But you know what?
Nice.
I think the Indians would trade both of those web gems for a win or 2 the last 2 games.
What a hit with the bases loaded.
Yeah, that'd be a good trade.
Or that. Our stat of the night, and this is a good one. The Yankees, your division champs, have spent a total of 18 days in first place this season. Fewest days spent in first of any of the Yanks' 43 pennant or division-winning teams. In '78, their comeback against the Sox, they spent 23 days in first place. But you know what? Doesn't matter because they're still division champs.
One day.
All right.
Why don't you spend the last day?
That's
right?
what I'm saying. One
That's
day.
the one. We still have 2 wild card races up for grabs. So, Steve Phillips, tell us who will win the American League and the National League.
Well, the American League wild card is going to be won by the Boston Red Sox. Curt Schilling's going to step up on the big stage and do what he does in the most dramatic fashion. He's going to put the Red Sox on his shoulder, win tomorrow, and take them to the American League wild card. In the National League, the Houston Astros are going to get it done. They're going to win the game. The Phillies are going to win as well, but the Astros' victory is going to get them to the wild card and to the postseason.
All right, everybody's winning tomorrow.
Everybody's winning.
Yes.
Everybody happy.
And some people losing. Because even if you win, you lose. And I think the same thing is going to happen. I think that the Phillies are going to win, and Houston's going to win, so Houston's going to win out. And the American League, I think the Tribe might choke up a little bit because those young players, man, it's a lot of pressure, and they've never faced this type of pressure. Boston, on the other hand, we don't feel no stinking pressure. we don't what pressure?
All right, so both going out on a limb and saying the teams with the 1-game leads right now
will
prevail.
Aren't we special?
Way to go, guys. We should remind you that if, in fact, there are 1-game playoffs, National League would be in Philadelphia, 4 Eastern on Monday. The American League would be Indians at the Red Sox, 7 Eastern on Monday. But, of course, a lot to come before we get to that. Both of those games will be on ESPN. Thanks for watching Baseball Tonight. For Steve Phillips and Orestes Destrade, I'm Scott Reese. Have a great night, everyone.